What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wolf Stand Up Champions. This is your host, Dark Matter Wolf, and we bring you back another hero deck here that I created. Like I mentioned, if you guys are new, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. We post Marvel Champion videos almost every day or every other day, and welcome to the channel. If you guys are returning viewers, what's up? Welcome back, and let's go ahead and jump into our deck today. Today we're going to be going over She-Hulk. Right here, this deck is a protection 50 card She-Hulk deck that revolves a lot around of defending, and after you defend, you ready again. So it's going to be a hope it works, but it's going to be going around 1-2 punch, where after you make a basic attack using She-Hulk's ready. You ready She-Hulk. I got Ready to Rumble in here. I got a couple other cards that are going to help me ready up while we are doing all this stuff. And She-Hulk is just, she's got a lot of health and she packs a big punch. So hopefully this will be good for us. We're going to see what happens. We're going to go ahead and showcase this deck in a later video against some villains. And we'll make some modifications as we go through the Gauntlet of Champions. So, if you guys are new here, welcome. We will get right into it. Here we go. All right, of course, we're going to be playing She-Hulk here. She-Hulk is the main card that we're going to be using. And Jennifer Walters, Alter Ego, Recovery for 5. So we're going to be flipping back and forth whenever we need to recover that big recovery. Got some cards in here to help her with that as well. We got Hellcat, which is part of her kit. Gamma Slam to make that big, huge final play. 2 copies of Ground Stomp, deal 1 damage to each enemy. Legal Practice here to help us with some thwart removal. We got 3 copies of 1-2 Punch. This is the card I was talking about here that's going to help us after you make a basic attack. Ready She-Hulk. So it's going to be revolving around multiple attacks with She-Hulk and just being able to ready up and stuff. So we got Split Personality, change your form, and then draw up to your printed hand size. We have Superhuman Law Division. We got 2 copies of Focused Rage. 2 copies of upgrade here of Superhuman Strength. This card's actually pretty insane. If you didn't have to discard this, it'd be even more insane, but you could definitely do a big hit. Like, say you have both of these out at the same time. That's +4 health. I mean, plus, I was going to say health. +4 attack on She-Hulk. She's already got 5 attack. After She-Hulk attacks, discard Superhuman Strength, stun that enemy. So if you have a ready with you, that's a big hit. You could do 2, 4, 5, 7 if I do my math right. And then you ready her up again, and you can do just 10 damage in 1 turn. So it's going to be big hits. I don't think She-Hulk is lacking in the attacking part. Lacking in attacking. No pun intended. So the reason why I kind of did it protection-wise was so I didn't have to go into Alter Ego and threat mitigation, because she doesn't have a lot of threat to deal with threat. So we're going to stay in... her alter ego is when threat would be placed on a scheme, prevent 1 of that threat, which is good while we do flip over that 1 turn to recover for 5 or potentially 7, because I have downtime in this deck. So she can just defend and then get back up, and then defend again, then get back up, and just continue to do more damage here. So after you change form, deal 2 damage to an enemy. She doesn't have a lot of thwart, doesn't have a lot of threat defense, so that's why we are gonna probably stay in defense mode most of the time and just punch and punch. So I got 2 copies of Counter Punch for that same reason. After your hero defends against the enemy, deal that damage to the enemy equal to your attack. This is a free 0 cost. So after your hero defends, an enemy attack, deal deal damage to the enemy equal to your hero's attack. So I'm going to be hitting them for 3 for free. I just need to take the punch there. We got Never Back Down. We got 3 copies of Never Back Down. This is the card that's pretty good here. It's a defense card, event, 1 cost. When you defend against an attack, you get +2 defense for this attack. You take no damage from this attack. You stun the enemy. So that's another stunning there that we'll be able to do. Pretty good card. We got 2 copies of Sidestep. Here it's a 1 cost event, hero. Hero defense, when you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage if you paid for this card using a energy resource, deal 1 damage to the enemy. So kind of good. You prevent 3 damage from you. So that's why we have that in there. We got 3 copies of Bait and Switch here. This card's pretty decent for this deck, just because it's a way to remove thwart and stuff from your main scheme or any scheme. Well, this has to be the main scheme. But the villain attacks you, remove 4 threat from the main scheme. So it's a 1 cost. You'll be able to like defend if they attack you, and then you can go ahead and just remove 4 threat. Like, it's kind of like an emergency card if you really need to take an attack, defend from the attack, ready up, and then you also remove threat from the enemy. And a lot of these cards interact with each other. As I go more through it, you'll see what I'm talking about here. We have Get Behind Me. 2 copies of Get Behind Me, which is when a treachery card is revealed from an encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effect. The villain attacks you instead. So same kind of situation there, same kind of thought process. We got 2 copies of Preemptive Strike. It's a hero interrupt. When a boosted card is turned face up while the villain attacks, cancel all boost icons on that card. Then deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled this way. So another way to do damage during your opponent's turn, kind of cool. Especially if you need to cancel those pesky boosts. This will be good in when I'm playing Expert, because like those Expert standard cards, not standard cards, but the Expert cards, like they have like 3 boosts on them. I think like one Master Plan has like 3, or Exhaustion. One of those cards has that. We have 2 copies here. Tackle, which is going to stun an enemy if you paid for this card using a physical resource. Deal 3 damage to that enemy. So kind of cool. You get to stun them. If we're gonna be staying in hero mode, so we're gonna need to have some cards to prevent some damages, because I mean She-Hulk has a lot of health, but that can only get us so far. You know, we can only take so many punches before we have to recover back up. And not get too far in the scheming when the villain schemes. So moving on to the upgrades here, we got 1 copy of Electrostatic Armor. After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. The reason why I'm only playing 1 copy of these cards here, of these upgrades, which is Nerves of Steel and Armored Vest, is because they're upgrades and they're max 1 per player. They don't get discarded when you exhaust them, and so they stay on the board. So I kind of just want to, for the deck building purposes, the reason why I only picked 1, my rule of thumb is, and this is my own personal rule of thumb, is that if you cannot discard it, say you already have one in play and you draw another one, that card is dead in your hand because now you have to use it as a resource. Yeah, you can get to it quicker because you have multiple copies, and then you can just pitch it away. But because I play a 50 card deck, I mean, when I do turbo builds, I'll definitely play that style. But I like to make 50 card decks because I like to have everything possible and accessible, and it just makes the game more fun because you have more options and more outs and more comebacks. I like to make a lot of comeback decks. So you're just like waiting for that 1 card, and it's like you get it, and it's like, boom, it saves you. I don't know. This is how I like to play. That's how I played a lot of my TCGs. But I will be making turbo decks. But I have to get through all of the, literally behind me here, I have to get through, or behind the camera, I have to get through all of the expansion packs. I have 5 expansion packs here. Still in shrink, I got a multitude of hero packs that I need to open, film them, and add them to my collection, sleeve them. So I'm going to surely but slowly get the entire collection open and accessible to make those decks, but that'll be later in the series. I'm still new to Marvel Champions, and if you're still new to Marvel Champions, I would recommend subscribing and jumping on this journey with me. I'm going to go through every single card, every single pack, every single hero, rating, reviewing, playing them, and just building decks as I go slowly so I can learn all the keywords, all the cards, and then I'll just have that all downloaded here. So whenever I go to make my first deck and start deck building with an entire collection, I'll be aware of cards already and not have to go through every single one by one, which I probably still, but it'll marinate here and I'll be able to, I don't know. Hope you enjoy that little tidbit there. Welcome back to my TED Talk. This is, we're going back to the deck here. So rule of thumb, 1 max per player. We have Nerves of Steel. We have Armored Vest here, which is +1 defense. Exhaust Nerves of Steel, generate a lightning or a energy resource for a defense event, and then after you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Those are our upgrades here, are one per player. These are also 1 per player upgrades here, but I have 2 copies of these because after you exhaust it, when you would take any amount of damage, discard defensive stand prevents 3 of that damage. So they're max 1 per player, but they don't stay on the board. So you exhaust it, you use it, now you can play the other one next turn or in the future. That's the whole thought process there on those upgrades and how I deck build. Hope that makes a little bit of sense. We do have 3 copies of this card here. I think this card here is busted. Indomitable, after your hero defends, discard Indomitable, ready your hero. So it'll be able to, She-Hulk will be able to just defend for free, and then also we'll be able to attack the next turn when it's our turn and not the villain's turn anymore. Because if you exhaust on the villain's turn to defend, you don't unexhaust until the end of your next turn. So the end of your turn is when you'll be able to exhaust again. So if you already defended, the next turn you won't be able to defend or do anything because you'll already be exhausted. We got 2 copies here of Ready to Rumbles for more chances to unexhaust. So after you change form, discard this card, ready your hero. So I'll be able to do some cool fun stuff like, say, I can attack, change form, and then I can stand, and then I can go ahead and recover for 5, so I get an attack and a recover. Or say I'm an alter ego and I want to still do some attacking next turn. I can recover for 5, change form. When I change form, I deal 2 damage, and then I exhaust, or I discard, and then I unexhaust, and I can still attack for that turn. So it just allows more and opens more for the back and forth switching and just defending and stuff. I think Ready to Rumble is a good card there. Same situation. I think I actually might bump this up to 3 copies just because after you change form, discard this card. I'm going to be changing form a lot, kind of, to go back and forth because I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. Well, actually, no, I'm not, because I'm going to be defending. So we will see. We will see. We will see. We will definitely see how this deck turns out and the tweaks we need to make. We do have 1 copy of Endurance here. Get 3+ hit points, putting She-Hulk at 18, making her really beefy. We got downtime to recover for 7 if I have that active, because recovery is 5, so recovering for 7 would be huge, and it'll get her back up to full health really quick. Got your standard cards, Avengers Mansion, Helicarrier here, and then I have 2 copies of the Power Protection, and then your basic Energy, Strength, and Genius. You may have noticed here I have no allies in this protection deck besides the one that comes with the hero kit here. It's Hellcat. No allies. It was very that was done intentionally. She-Hulk is going to do this all on her own, and the biggest reason for that is so I can have more room for more cards here, and then also I don't have a lot of allies that are in protection. I could put a Nick Fury, I could put a Mockingbird, which are really good cards in the early waves, in the early stages, which I'm still technically in the core box or cycle 1. But here I also do want to point out that a lot of these cards, so She-Hulk's hand size is 4, And Jennifer Walters' hand size is 6, but I'm going to be in She-Hulk form a lot, and I want to present this here. I want to showcase this part a lot, is that all these cards here, besides a few, are going to be 3-cost cards. Everything is a 1 cost. All these here, you can see all these are 1 costs here, and then here, also all 1 cost except for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 cards that are not 1 cost cards, and that is done also purposely so I can still activate these cards just because she's got a low hand size and her economy. She actually has pretty good economy. She's got 2 cards in here that boost up her. You take a damage, you exhaust. Here we go. Focus Rage. Exhaust Focus Rage, you take 1 damage and deal and draw a card. So that's actually still pretty good because drawing a card is technically a resource. Because if you have another card in your hand, you can use it as a resource, but it also goes through your deck faster. I like this build. I haven't really played it out yet. I'm going to play it out later in the channel here. So if you don't want to miss out on these games, make sure to subscribe right now and comment what do you guys think of this deck. In theory, I think it'll work out. So far, all my decks in theory have worked out. I have hit a couple hiccups here and there while playing these decks. Like we just did a Spider-Man deck, and I did struggle on the thwarting. But then when I drew the Miles Morales or the Nick Fury, that also helped me get back on track with the thwarting, which is the reason why I put them in, but they're only 2 cards out of 50. You'd be surprised how quick you draw those 1-ofs in your 50-card deck, and how often I draw Endurance or Downtime in my first hand draw. I don't know the science behind it, but it happens a lot. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this deck, and or what would be a good She-Hulk deck that you've created. Without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Dark Matter Wolf reminding you that you matter here at the Wolf's Den of Champions. If you want to watch more of these decks that I've created, you can click here on this playlist, or you could also, YouTube thinks you're going to like this video here. So until next time, peace.